Hey everybody, welcome to the dose. No, I don't miss snowmobiling at all, not even a little bit. But as I got to looking at these, which reminded me of probably the most awesome weekend I've had in a very, very, very long time, I got to thinking about something. I got to thinking about the fact that, have you ever heard somebody say to you, try to see it from their perspective? You remember that? Remember that when you get into an argument with somebody or get into an altercation as a child or as a young adult, and your parents or somebody you looked up to would say, you should really try to see it from their point of view. You should really try to see it from their perspective. Well, what does that mean? Why do we all have different perspectives on things? Why do we have Democrats and Republicans that can look at the same issue and see it two diametrically opposed ways? Why is it sometimes men and women can be in a situation and see it two diametrically opposed ways? Why can one man and another man look at the exact same thing and have two different opinions on it, and the same thing with women? One woman and another woman can be in a situation and see something happen and interpret it entirely and completely different. How come some people can walk out of a movie and go, that movie was great, and other people walk out and go, that movie was terrible? Why does that happen? And the answer is because of this. This is why. So you're going, Brian, that snowmobiling messed up your mind, dude. No, but seriously, here's why. Because what is this right here? It's a lens. And you see right now I'm looking through this lens and everything looks kind of yellow because it's a yellow lens. If I take the lens off, everything looks very different. Put the lens back on and everything's yellow again. Here's what you need to know. Your experiences, your background, your history, your ethnicity, your religion, your socioeconomic status when you're growing up, your parents, whether you had one or both in the home, whether you had a traditional family or whether you had an alternative style family, right? Whether you went to a private school or a public school, whether you were a popular kid or a not so popular kid, whether your parents were wealthy or poor, all of these things form filters through which you look at the world. Now think about this. If every one of us has different experiences, a different background, a different heritage, a different upbringing, we learned different lessons, we went through different things in life, then all of us look at the world through a different set of filters. We look at the world through a different lens. Every one of us has our own unique lens that we look to the world through. And that's why we all see things differently. That's why some people get excited about things that other people don't care anything about. That's why some people get offended by things that don't bother somebody else in the slightest bit. The reason why is because we all look at the world through a set of experiential filters that make up how we see the world. And so it's so important as you and I go building businesses and working in leadership positions, as we look to lead and influence people, it's important that we understand that everybody has their own set of experiential filters. And so what your parents told you when you were young was true. You should try to see it from their perspective. So when you're leading or when you're influencing or when you're in a selling situation, it doesn't matter. You should always try to understand what filters someone else might be looking at the situation through, and try to imagine how they're feeling and what their perspective is. Because if you can begin to see things the way that they do, then you'll be more apt and more able to influence them or to guide them or to instruct them in a way that they feel as though you're helping them because you understand them, as opposed to trying to browbeat them and convince them to your way of thinking, because that's not the way to get it done. So guys, listen. We all have different experiences. We're all unique in that way. If we understand that, we're going to be much, much more effective communicators, much, much more successful in all these areas of our life. And that's the dose. Make it a great day.